Hello and welcome to Sidequest. My name is Dylan Musk and I'm joined by the haunted Taylor Field. I just realized I forgot to play the intro music, so I'll edit that in after. But Taylor, how are you doing tonight, my friend?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Happy to be here on this spooky Monday.
Yeah, it is a spooky Monday. It's, October. It's nearly Halloween. And so we have some topics to fit the mood a little bit. We're talking about some zombie games a little bit, which we did earlier this year, but we're going to revisit that in a different way. Also talk about some of the games we've been playing, maybe a little chat about some Xbox stuff. And we're going to kick it off by talking about the draft, do a little draft checking because a bunch of new games have hit the draft since the last time we did all of that. So how about we just kind of get right into it today? Yeah, so as I mentioned, the draft, if anyone forgets, the four of us, draft a bunch of games, and then we come back in August, we draft even more games in case things have been delayed. And then we kind of tally up the Metacritic scores across all these bad boys, and then see who has the highest number at the end of the year. And they are the winner, the crowned winner. So yeah, let's check in with this thing. Right now, Taylor, I hate to break it to you, you're
Mm,
still in last place.
mm.
Uh, you had a couple new games come out recently. Lego Party with an 80 and Battlefield 6 with an 83. So good numbers to add onto your tally. And the things you have out now, Wonderstop at 80, Death Stranding 2 at 89, and Like a Dragon at 79 for a total of 411. Jurassic World Evolution 3 actually comes out the day this episode drops, but the reviews aren't out yet. I was checking that one. So you'll have some fresh points soon. What do you think that one's going to net you?
Oh, I'm
That
thinking at
was your
least an
last
89.
pick. Okay.
An
Wow, you're going
89 at
89.
least. Yeah.
Damn. Okay, so that would be tied for your highest rated game of the year, up there with Death
Perfect.
Stranding. That'd be beautiful. And then you have Anno 117 in November, mid November, and then Metroid in December. So I don't think you're having anything delayed. I think you're pretty scot free at this point, which means if anyone else has a thing delayed, you're probably beating them at the very least. So even though you're in
Easy
fourth
first
now,
place. Like,
maybe we'll see. There's definitely some stiff competition, but in third place is Travis, who some recent additions. He had Hollow Knight Silksong at 91, so a juicy score there. Borderlands 4 with an 81, and Lego Voyagers at 79. So you had a better Lego game. Your Lego Party had an 80. His
I feel
had
like he made fun
79.
of me for that too. This guy. Sorry, what did you say Borderlands was?
Borderlands 4 is 81.
81?
Actually
Okay.
feels kind of higher than what I heard, like reviews and things for it, but
Mm-hmm.
he'll take that. He also had WWE 2K25, what it gave him 80, Vowed at 80, Assassin's Creed Shadows at 81. So that gives him a total of 492. He's still waiting on Call of Duty Black Ops 7 and Kirby Air Riders coming out both mid-November. So I think both of those are coming out at this point. So I think if me and Kirkland have anything delayed, which is possible, I think you guys are kind of in competition for number one. So I guess let's say you did get an 80 for Jurassic Park. That would put you guys pretty much tied, and then you're kind of just battling now between Metroid, Anno, and then Call of Duty and Kirby. So that could go anyway. That's going to be a fun battle if it does come down to that. I feel like that's extremely close. We could see the first ever tie potentially. In second place right now is me. I had a couple new things come out recently, which is Ghost of Yotai, 86 points, and Ninja Gaiden 4, which is out like within minutes of us recording this. Maybe it's out right now, but the reviews are out, and that has an 82 currently. So that adds up with my MLB The Show for 83, South of Midnight 77, Elden Ring Night Rain 77, which kind of hurts, but then Monster Hunter Wilds at 90 for a total of 495. I have two things yet to come out. Outer Worlds 2, which is at the end of this month, I think next week. So feeling good about that one. Previews have been good, so I'm hoping for a nice juicy score. But then the ever elusive Marvel Cosmic Invasion, which I put for the release date on our note, I just wrote yikes because this MFer keeps saying it's coming out this year, gets new trailers, they announce new characters, they've announced so many things. They had a demo come out recently. They are assured, oh yeah, it's coming out 2025. There ain't much time left, guys. There's like 2 months, and you're probably not going to release it like around Christmas time. So let's call it a month and a half. So I don't know. I hope it still comes out because it's one of my most anticipated of the year if it does. But I'm a little scared about just straight up the release date of that one. But if that and Outer Worlds do, well, Outer Worlds is definitely coming out. If those both do come out, I'm feeling pretty good because I think both of them are going to be decent scores. At the very least, Outer Worlds I think is going to be like 85 plus. So feeling good with the exception of freaking Marvel Cosmic Invasion, but hopefully that game does come out pretty soon. And then sitting pretty-ish in first place is Kirkland Patzer. So he has 566 points right now. He recently had Pokemon Legends ZA come out with a 79. Baby Steps come out with a 77. That totals up with his MGS Delta pick of 86. Mafia at 74. Adamfall at 74. Split Fiction at 91. And Doom Dark Ages 85. However, his last game on his list is Mina the Hollower, which was supposed to come out Halloween Day, but recently got delayed to an unknown date. So it could still be this year, but they haven't said, they haven't confirmed, oh, it's still coming out this year. They have said nothing other than the fact that, yeah, we're delaying it. So there's a chance it does come out this year, but I think Kirkland might have got screwed with this thing, because I think that would have been a good point one, but I think it's maybe getting kicked to next year would be my prediction. But even then, early next year, there's so many games coming out, so maybe they do just want to stick it out in like December. I'm not sure, but I feel bad for him because he was so damn close. They had the demo out, previews were good, coming out Halloween, and then boom, just like that, the rug pulled. So we'll see if he still gets that one, because he obviously has a nice lead right now, but he also just has the most amount of games released. And you know he's got three games that are in the 70s, so 4 even. So his scores not so hot, you know. So I think if Mina comes out, I think it still is pretty close between the rest of us. Again, for me, it really hinges on Marvel Cosmic Invasion. That's everything right now. I need that one to come together. So, yeah, that's kind of the state of things. And yeah, we probably won't do another check-in before the end of the year. So next time we'll talk about this is probably when we announce the winner next year, and then get into our draft for next one. We're already at that point. Isn't that kind of crazy? Because like
That is crazy.
mid-November is when they kind of chuck out the Game Awards noms to the people behind the scenes, and then we're already into December. So that's coming up pretty quick in terms of end of the year stuff, game of the year, all those fun shows that happen, our podcasts, all that good stuff. So I don't know, you excited for this last, not even quarter at this point, but I guess we got like a little less than a quarter. You excited?
Yeah, it's the last hurrah. You know, we'll get to, I don't know, things get exciting in this last little bit of the year, not just with the draft's sake, but just things to look forward to coming out next year, especially. That's what kind of gets me excited. So
yeah, good point, because like with the just insurmountable amount of things coming out next year, and even like a lot of them early next year, as I mentioned, the first 3 months of the year, I feel like Game Awards is just lined up dominoes wise to just knock it down and get like a killer show with a bunch of great new trailers. But I don't know, at the same time it could be like, oh, we've seen these games, we already know they're coming out, and it's, you know, new trailer for 007, but like it's not that exciting. I mean, like the surprises kind of get us more. If Keeley can land a GTA trailer, then, you know, obviously that'd blow up and be the biggest, because I think the GTA 6 trailer, the second one, is like the biggest video game trailer of all time on YouTube or something. So like,
yeah,
you know, if he can line that up, I don't know what it would cost him, but it would probably cost him every freaking penny he's worth, I think. So I don't know if he'll make it happen, but there's bound to be some exciting things. So yeah, we will check in with all of that. Okay, let's talk about the games we've been playing. Taylor, why don't you kick it off? What have you been playing?
So, I mean, I got 2 games. The first one, nothing new. Call of Duty, the Halloween stuff. It pulled me back in. I wanted to get
Warzone? Are you doing just like multiplayer? What's going on?
I'm just doing the multiplayer. Unless you guys were to drop in on Warzone, then I would play Warzone. But for now,
I ain't got the hard drive space anymore.
No hard drive space. Yeah, it's just the multiplayer is good enough for me, unless you guys jump on for Warzone. But I just wanted to try the Halloween stuff. They got instead of Nuketown, it's Boo Town. And it's all like skeletons and ghosts and spiders and all that. It's super cool. It's fun. And they added the Battle Pass is Predator themed, which is very, very sweet. So the Predator, the Yautja's in there. Really, really stoked on playing as him. Then they added the Predator Badlands DLC pack. If you complete the Battle Pass, you get the Predator from Prey. So if you buy the Battle Pass at the start, you get just the generic Predator. And then if you complete the Battle Pass, you then get the Prey Predator. And there's a bunch of other Predator stuff thrown in there in the mix. And then
you can get the Badland one? How do you get the Badlands?
That's a separate pack that you just buy character pack.
Now, does that come with Elle Fanning on the back?
No, it doesn't. Not that I saw. You get a sword. It would be sick. You get a couple other cool things, but you don't get her on the back as part of the costume. You get him with the mask and without a mask. What else did they toss in? They just they dropped also a character pack for Jason from Friday the 13th. So he's got his classic look, and then he's got like a SWAT tactical outfit, as well. So he's got
Is
like
that
his
from one of the
classic.
movies?
No, this is Call of Duty exclusive, like not in the
Okay.
movie. So he's wearing like a heavy duty SWAT vest with like grenades and like shotgun slugs on there, like clean looking. And he's got his like hockey signature hockey mask, also looking clean. Like it's absolutely hilarious how like polished he looks. But just like to think of like this horror icon Jason being on a SWAT recon level, just one man army
Like
style.
going undercover or something to
Yeah,
be less
yeah.
suspicious, but he's just so big and noticeable that it doesn't work. Yeah.
Exactly. Just crazy, but it's cool. And then they dropped their event, which is Chucky theme. So
Ooh.
you get if you just there's two versions of this event. It's an event pass that releases, and there's like 10 tiers, and you just have to play games to get XP to unlock the tiers. And so there's the free tier and then there's the paid tier. The free tier, if you complete that, you get guns, you get emblems, you get all this cool stuff. And at the end, you get a character. He's a guy with like a pumpkin flaming skull, pumpkin head
Okay.
thing, which is very cool. And then if you do the paid version, then you get Chucky right off the hop. And then you get all these exclusive like Chucky rewards. And you get Tiffany, which is the bride of Chucky, the doll character outfit at the end
Okay.
of that, which is cool. But the
So
killing and sorry.
Chucky, because he's not the size of a man. So is it just Chucky looking like Chucky but scaled up to regular character size?
Yes.
Oh God, that
Yeah, it's
sounds.
like
Is that
it's
more or less
freaky.
terrifying than regular Chucky?
I faced a few Chuckies and it's freaky seeing them run around, but it's the voice that really gets me. Like as the Predator, when I'm doing things, you hear the Predator roar, and then as Chucky doing things, you hear Charles Lee Ray just shouting out
Mm,
obscenities. And then his
yeah.
killing animations are great because you can get you can get the Chucky doll, like the life size like version, and he throws the doll at the enemy, and then the doll just starts like stabbing your character. And this is when you
That's good.
assassinate the guy from behind or whatnot. But
Nice.
there's some fun stuff.
That's cool. Are you interested, or what's your situation with Black Ops 7? Like, are you picking that bad boy up?
I'm not like I need it to go on sale. I can't. I thought it would be on Games Pass with EA Access right away, but it wasn't. So I'm just gonna
No,
wait
sorry,
for
I
it.
Black Ops 7. Black
Oh,
Ops 7.
sorry, Black Ops, Black Ops, Battlefield. Sorry, Battlefield of the brain. I'm not buying this game, and I don't have much excitement for it. There's been nothing that's really pulling me
Mm-hmm.
in. The only thing that I'm going to be hyped for is just the multiplayer. There is a new Warzone map that's going to drop with it, so I will try that probably. But I don't really have anything really pulling me into this campaign or anything along those lines.
Yeah.
I'm really just I'm feeling drained when it comes to that.
So the Warzone stuff that would be free, but the multiplayer, like, are you gonna like? Because are you still subscribed to Game Pass after these price increases and things?
I'm still subscribed. Yeah. I
Okay.
was looking at it because I thought it was based on I thought the membership worked where you can pay to have Game Pass Ultimate, which is seamless transition between gaming on PC and Xbox. Then I thought below that it was either just on Xbox or just on PC, and then below that was like a lesser tier. I'm completely wrong on my insight, and maybe they must have changed it over the course of the past 5 years because now
They
it's
changed it
just
last year, and then they changed it again like 2 weeks ago.
don't like that. So yeah, with the change now, and I looked at the tiers. It's like okay, well you have this much for Ultimate, which gets you a whole bunch of titles on Games Pass, and then you can switch to the lower tier, and then you get a few lesser things, and you get a lot less games. It's like 200 games stripped away off of Games Pass, which
Right,
at the
and
end
you
of the
wouldn't get
day
the day one stuff. So like, you wouldn't get the new Call of
wouldn't get the
Duty, for
day one
example.
stuff. No, so there's a few cons in there. So right now, I'm just gonna keep riding this Game Pass thing, and if I feel like I need to change it, I will change it. But I'm not in any kind of rush right now to do
Yeah.
so.
The as far as I understand, the price increase, like up to 35 freaking Canadian dollars a month, isn't until November 4th. So I don't know when when your thing renews, but you'll at least you're fine for a little bit until you're kicked over to that, and then even then, I think you could go out of your way to like go get physical cards from like a store.
Which I should do just to screw Xbox.
Yeah. I mean that, but it's just so annoying if that's what you have to do for like the next few months just to keep that same price. But I think yeah,
Mhm.
I still have it for a month, and then I think the auto renew ends like November 1st or something. So that's like right before the price goes up. So then I'll just cancel it at that point.
Mhm.
So I guess you'll be playing Black Ops 7 just through Game Pass then, at least check it
Yeah,
out for a little bit.
that's exactly what I did with 6. I did not buy it. It's one of the first Call of Duties I have not bought in a long, long time. I don't have any need for it. Like, if it's free on Games Pass, that's
Yeah,
great. I'd rather put that money into a battle pass or something that I can actually thoroughly
sure.
enjoy and unlock content. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sorry, I got off track there. What was the other game that you've been playing?
either game, well, it went on sale, and so I hopped on it really, really quickly on Steam. It is Stronghold Crusader Definitive Edition. I
Nice.
had to get in there.
Great.
I have not like blown anything out of the water yet and just kind of like done anything crazy. I've spent a little bit of time just trying to get back into the groove of things, and it didn't take long for me to just kind of start to put my old play styles to the test again. I played against a bunch of the new AI, and they're interesting. They're it's fun. It's really cool just to see all of this new content in this game. The graphical upscaling that they've done is a little bit nicer too. They've got a few other little minor improvements as well in terms of just operating and like moving around the map and zooming in, zooming out. Some stuff I don't like. One thing is just like the zoom out function I don't really like, but it is what it is. That being said, I've tried testing out some of the new units. Some of them seem very, very overpowered, but I do like it. Yeah, I think that's from what I have played so far. I am really, really enjoying that this old game got a bunch of actually like new content that just blows my mind to actually witness this, because it's just I feel like old games don't get new content like that. It's like I don't know, Mario 64 releasing with a definitive edition and getting a whole bunch of new levels or worlds, or better, like Mario Sunshine or something like that. It's like, what? Like, the companies don't do that. But here we are. So I've been thoroughly enjoying it, and I'm going to try the multiplayer online at some point. I've just been reading that a lot of people say it's just garbage and it's not the
Oh,
greatest connection wise. It's not
oh,
easy
weird.
to get going. So hopefully that's something that they do fix. But until then, I'm enjoying playing the single player and just the scenarios. I like to you can set up where human players start off the game with like 40 grand. And in some scenarios, I love to do that and just be able to establish myself, and then just I don't go and wage war. I just establish my defense, and then I let usually like 4 AIs all on a team just try to take me down and just see what
Nice.
happens. I like just to sit there and just watch a defense take
Yeah,
place. So
that's super fun. Because that version, because I know we had that discussion a couple weeks ago, is that the one that came out this year? That definitive edition?
yes, it
Okay, so
is.
yeah, maybe they're working on that multiplayer stuff, but I don't know. Like that feels like if you don't have it at launch, like sometimes like servers get hit hard at a launch day, but if it's like been a few months, I don't know what they'll do to improve it at this point. But hopefully they can find a way, because
Yeah,
that's too bad.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Cool. Yeah, it's very exciting to hear that update on that one. Um, let's see. How about we take our first quick break here, and then we'll get into. I have just one new game to share right here, but it's kind of a big juicy one. So we will come right back to chat about that in a moment. Okay, we are back. So I've been playing Ball Pit, which is the kind of newest indie roguelike weirdo mashup game, also on Game Pass right now. So yeah, Ball Pit, spelt Ball X Pit, Ball times Pit, Ball cross Pit. I don't even know how you're really supposed to pronounce it. I think you just say Ball Pit, but I'm not exactly sure. I actually, funny thing about the naming convention here is it's meant to be kind of a cross between the two things. There's a giant pit and you're flinging balls at things, right? So it's like pretty simple on the nose. But I also kind of like that naming convention just because I feel like that's kind of what roguelikes are. Like every roguelike is okay, here's the roguelike formula mixed with it appears to be there's no limit on what the genre could be now, or it started with like Bind of Isaac back in the day, which are like a roguelike mixed with Zelda dungeons, and it was Spelunky of like roguelike mixed with 2D platformer, and then you had like Dead Cells, which mixed with like a Castlevania style, or Slay the Spire, which was like a deck building game, and then into like FTL, like a space sim mixed with roguelike, into the Breach, a tactics game, and then I feel like last year when we got Balatro, it was like, oh, Poker. Joker Poker is what the pseudonym for it. Poker mixed with roguelike. And I feel like that already there was a million different roguelikes and a million different genres, but I feel like Balatro even blew the doors off even more. And since then, just the amount of like word games or other card games or Plinko games, like any little thing you could possibly think of is like, okay, let's turn that into a roguelike now, because Balatro proved that you can do it with something like poker. And I think with like the one simple addition of Balatro, you don't fight enemies, you just like are playing against a high score. And so for a lot of things, genres that didn't really make sense as having enemies, people are like, oh yeah, I guess you don't need enemies. Like people like just watching numbers go up in scores. And so it feels like kind of a simplified version, but it still works all the same. And that's a little bit how I feel about this game, in the sense that, oh yeah, here's another roguelike, and this one is crossed with like a brick breaker or a breakout style game. I don't know if did you ever play any of those back in the day, Taylor? It was like a game where you have like a little paddle at the bottom of the screen, and a ball is bouncing around the screen, and you like kind of move the paddle around to bounce the ball, and then it breaks a block and then comes back down. And then like you try and get it
Oh
on
yeah.
top of the blocks, and then they like smash a bunch of the blocks over and over. Maybe you can get it inside the middle, and then it like quickly bounces up and down and smashes
I
a
think I
million
used to
blocks
play that
before it
on like
comes
my
back.
dad's old like handheld computer thing.
Absolutely. Yeah. So that's what this game is. It's mixing like that style of gameplay with a roguelike structure and a couple other things on top. And I think, one thing that it immediately has going for it is the aesthetic. I am pretty sure I can't find anywhere any proof that this is like the same developer as Loop Hero, but they at the very least have like definitely the same artist. Like the art looks identical in terms of the character designs and like the color palette and all that kind of stuff. It seems like almost a sequel to that way, which is also another weird roguelike game about, I don't even know what that genre is. I always struggle to describe what Loop Hero is, other than that it's weird and cool. But yeah, this game has like a really nice aesthetic as well. The music's really good. Even like going back to the trailers, like just the style of this game, I think, is what makes it stand out. And this is one that I don't like. There's a lot of these, as I mentioned, a lot of these roguelikes that came out of Balatro. I was like, okay, how can we kind of get in on this gravy train right now? This does not feel like that. This feels like it's been in the works for years, before Balatro even came out. And, Balatro is a pretty novel concept, but it's not like it was the creator of a genre even. It just kind of repopularized this thing and showed people that like a lower budget thing like this can be super duper successful. But yeah, I've played quite a few hours of this now, because it is, like many other roguelikes, including Balatro, is like extremely addictive. Like the feeling of breaking blocks, as like that's a simple game that everyone played like on Miniclip back in the day or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like it is just like extremely satisfying. And when you mix that with a million upgrades and different types of blocks and different enemy types and different characters that you can play as, and like meta game stuff and leveling up, like of course that just makes it like even more super duper satisfying. So yeah, like going back to the gameplay a little bit, it's that structure. Instead of having a paddle at the bottom of the screen, you are a character. You're a guy, and you're flinging balls out there, and like so you have. I don't love this naming convention, but we're just gonna have to go with it because that's what it's called in this game. So you'll have like special balls, and that could be like a spiked ball or a fireball or a cannonball, and then you have baby balls. I don't know why they chose to call them baby balls, but those you have a lot more of them. They're all weaker. They don't have any powers on them. But then the special balls are the ones that like, oh yeah, this one is a fire one. So once you hit an enemy with it, it lights them on fire, and they take damage over time. Or poison, which works as you'd expect, or ice, which freezes the enemies that are coming down to you. And rather than the blocks being just regular triangles, which this genre usually has, these ones are like more squares, but they can have different shapes as well. And they are like little enemy units, like a little skeleton warrior or whatever it is. And a lot of them just kind of move slowly, progressively towards you. And then some of them like are archers, and they'll shoot at you, or have different abilities. And then of course there's like mini bosses and all that stuff. So you're a little guy, you're shooting out these balls, you're breaking stuff, you're leveling up. When you level up, you get to pick like new ball additions you want, or like modifiers, passives, things like that. And then each level kind of has like a 3-act structure. You go through, you plow through a bunch of enemies, you get like a mini boss, you go through a bunch more enemies, you get another mini boss, and then after that, you go through a bunch more enemies, and then you have like the final boss of the level, and that's like a bespoke boss for each of the different regions. And that each one of those runs takes maybe between like 10 and 20 minutes. Like it's pretty short as far as roguelikes go. You can also like speed up turn up or down the speed of the game, so you can slow it down if you really want to be precise, or you can just, now that I've played like for a bunch of hours, I'm like almost always on like the highest speed, and it's just insane the amount of things that are happening on the screen. It's like barely perceptible, but it's not a roguelike where you need to pay attention to every single hit you're doing, right? Like it is more, you just at some point you'll get like 30 balls that are on screen at one time, just destroying things from all these different angles, and there's effects popping off and lightning strikes and fire and explosions, and it's just, you can't no human's brain could ever keep up with that, even on the slowest speed. So you kind of just roll with it and like get along with what you're doing there. And then kind of once you're done those levels, then there's like a bit of a metagame progression system where you go back to a little town area, and this feels very much like Loop Hero. You're building out a town. This part I struggle to describe more. You're building a town, you're placing buildings in different areas, you're putting like crops down, and then you're putting like, oh, this building next to this building enhances the two of them together. And so you put towns down or little buildings down, and then you like shoot out your units now. So rather than like shooting the balls, you're shooting your units out, and to build buildings, your units have to like walk into the building and like they, put a hammer into it, they build it. And so you're trying to find weird configurations where you can line up a bunch of different structures, houses, buildings, casinos, upgrades, farms, so that your characters are bouncing and smashing into as many of these as they possibly can. And that's pretty quick. That usually only takes like 30 seconds. I think it starts at like 10 seconds when you're just first building, then you get like more and more time over, and you're getting just like this huge town, and you're not really even paying attention to how all these things are going to work. It's for me, I'm usually just like, oh, I'm trying to build these 2 or 3 specific buildings, so I put them in like a little orb together and just like let these units like just go in circles and like smash all these things to build them up. And yeah, all that stuff is like increasing your stats for your characters, giving you like abilities that help you in the game, giving you more options to choose from when you're leveling up in like the actual battles and whatnot. And I like that part enough. It's fine. I think it's pretty short, so it's like it's not the most in-depth, and it's almost too much to keep track of, but that's fine because you're not really spending much time in there, and I don't find I need to min-max it. I don't need to plan out, okay, I need to make sure I'm hitting like this many crops and this many buildings each time. It's like a little bit more low-key in terms of the strategy of it, because it just becomes eventually there's so many things on the screen. You just, to move it all around is kind of a total mess. So we don't worry about that too much. But then getting back to, once again, the name of the game, Ball X Pit, Cross times Pit, whatever you want to call it. This game's kind of all about fusions. That's like the central theming of it, and that's why I kind of mentioned like just the concept of roguelikes being about theming. I think this game's almost like a meta commentary on that in a way, even though it doesn't really like go in. There's like no story in this game. I don't think any character ever speaks. I don't think I thought about that until right now, but yeah, I don't think there's like a single spoken line of dialogue in this game other than like explaining what an ability does. But yeah, another kind of flash game thing. Taylor, did you ever play this game? I feel like to me it was like high school era. It wasn't even like a mini clip thing. You would just go on this website and it was like this game where you'd like, it was like a chemistry type of game where you would take like 2 different objects and you'd mix them together and then it would create a new object. So it would start out like, I don't know, really basic things. Like you'd have like fire and sand and you mix those together and then you get like glass. Right, and it's like little things like that, but then it would get crazy over time where you'd mix like rock and fire, and then it would create like lava, and then you'd mix like lava and a mountain, and it would make a volcano, and then you'd mix like a volcano and a lizard, and it would give you like a dragon or something. I don't remember if these were exact ways, but it was essentially like just, I don't even know what this game was called, but it was pretty much making these different like chemistry concoctions to make all these things, and you would just see how many crazy combinations you could come up with over the course of messing around with it.
There's a game that came out on. I used to play it on my old iPod. It was called Doodle God. It sounds very similar to this, where you get 3 things to start. It could be like fire, tree, or water, and you combine them and you get new elements. You could get all the way up to like plasma, and then you could get like lightning, and you could get like water. Combine those, and you could get. Then you start creating life, and you have to create all the elements and a map. It sounds very similar.
I'm looking at Doodle God. That's not the one I'm thinking of, but it's like that exact same idea. In fact, the game I'm thinking of might have ripped off Doodle God or vice versa. I don't know which one came first, but it's definitely that kind of idea. But that's pretty much what like the upgrade system in this game is like. So, one of my you'll get basic ones like, oh, if you take like wind and you take lightning, you get a storm upgrade ball, and now this one like has kind of the effects of both of those things, but it has some evolution on top of it. And there's like just a million of those, right? You can get like fire and ice, you mix those together and you get, it's called like frostburn or something, and it doesn't work exactly as you'd think. It kind of evolves it and turns it into some new thing. But then also with any of these, you can also just combine them into one. So you instead of turning fire and ice into frostburn, you can just turn it into fire plus ice, and then it just is one ball that has the effects of both fire and ice. Or you can go for that evolution version. So you kind of have a lot of options there. And this is, a light spoiler, but one of my favorite moments or combinations that I've had so far is I had the cannonball and I had the fireball, mixed those together, turned it into a bomb, which was like, when that first happened, I was like, oh, that is such an exciting, fun upgrade. And then at some point I had the bomb, and I combined that with poison, and that turned it into like an atomic bomb. And so now it was this huge explosion, and it would cause radiation on like half the map, and just did like absurd amounts of damage. And it was this huge animation as this giant bomb goes off. And so when you get into the point of the game at that part where you're combining evolutions together, and it's not like Doodle God, it's not like you're mixing these things 100 times over. Usually it's only like 2 or 3 levels that you're upgrading them. But like, man, those combinations are so fun, and anytime I see a new one, even if it's not the most optimal build because I don't know what this new thing does yet, I'm always like, oh, I just want to see what this combination does because I'm so curious what it will do now. And then it just like totally reframes how you've been thinking about all these things. And there isn't just so many roguelikes, like even Isaac, which I love, just has so many things once you get all the DLCs in there that's like, if you're trying to go for a specific build, it's just not going to happen because there's hundreds of items. The odds of you finding the specific ones you want is just not going to happen. This game is much more refined, or maybe refine's maybe not the right word, but it's at least lower amounts of things. You can also like banish and like reroll and stuff, so you can kind of take things out of the item pool, and so it feels like you can go for those. And so at one point I was like, I really want to go for the atomic bomb this run, and I was able to, by weeding out certain things, picking certain things, and just kind of waiting for the right time, I was able to kind of get that just by spending some time to figure it out. And so it's not too overwhelming, but then still I still have a bunch of things to unlock at this point, so maybe it will get to that point. We'll see. And then you also are picking up like just passive upgrades, like, oh, your balls deal more damage on the left side of units, or they have to bounce off the back wall and now they deal twice as much damage, or now your AoE attacks are even bigger. It's, things like that, fire rate, all sorts of many upgrades you could possibly think of. But man, it is just super fun, all these combinations of things, and yeah, I love that part of it. Each one of the locations is also some weird fusion between like two kind of disparate location ideas, like typical biomes you'd see in a game, and so that's kind of fun. The levels aren't like super in depth; they're all pretty much the exact same. It's just like a vertical line, pretty much, with a bunch of squares coming towards you, and you're just kind of there at the bottom. And then on top of all of this, you have specific characters. So it starts out pretty basic, like, oh, this guy shoots fire and he's a bit erratic, so he shoots kind of quickly and his aim is worse, kind of things like that. But then eventually one of the characters I unlocked is this knight who has a giant shield that is pretty much the equivalent of like those original Breakout kind of games, where it pretty much is just like a giant paddle. And so now the game does become that kind of classic style of trying to bounce them off your paddle, and then you get like increased damage and stuff like that. Some of them are like, oh, this guy does lob shots now, which like I don't even know this game had like verticality to it. Now there's like lob shots mixed in here, changing the gravity, or like this one is like, oh, this one's really tricky to use. One of them turns the game into like a turn-based game, which is insane. It takes this like extremely frenetic, fast-paced game and slows it down to a crawl, which, not my favorite character, but I love that it's just in there as an option that you can pick. And then the craziest thing of all, Taylor, at some point you get the ability to fuse characters together. So now, once again, that fusion concept and theming is used once again, where now every time I'm going into a level, I could pick 2 characters, and now I'm combining their abilities together, and that is just opens up the possibilities even more. So yeah, this game is freaking awesome. It's super duper fun, super satisfying. I've seen a fair amount of criticism online from people of just saying like the variety isn't quite there, levels all kind of feel the same. And to some extent, I can see where people are coming from. I don't think this is going to be a roguelike that I spend 100 hours in like I have many other ones, or like Belatra, which I just accidentally put 80 hours into pretty much because it just had so much to it. Like I only have 2 more biomes to go, or actually I'm on the second to last one now, and I've already started working through that. And I think I have most of the upgrades unlocked at this point, even looking at the encyclopedia. Like I have maybe 80% of the things, and I'm maybe 10 hours in or something. So I think, I'll probably get another 5 hours out of it, maybe 10. And then I probably won't come back to it after that, and that's totally fine, because I think that's kind of what I'm looking for right now. I don't want a roguelike that's going to demand 200 hours, unless it's Spelunky 3, and then I'll give you 6,000 million hours of my time. But otherwise, I like a nice tight runtime, and I think it's like developers probably know that, like this idea, this concept, it's pretty niche, right? And so I feel like they know that it only has a certain length to its legs, and so it's not trying to overrun it. So yeah, I really, really loving this game. I think it's like maybe $20-$30. I definitely would recommend it as a Switch game. It's a really good like I've definitely been on calls with friends while I'm playing this game in the background, or like watching a show playing this, and so it'd be good to have in that handheld format. That'd definitely be a good way to play it. But I'm just playing on Game Pass because then I don't have to pay for it separately. But yeah, super great game. Really, really enjoying it. I feel like in terms of the recommendation, if you like Loop Hero, you probably like this game. But I think more aptly is if you're into Vampire Survivors. I feel like this is kind of very equivalent to that in a lot of ways. But for me, it's a bit simpler to get like more crazy evolution combos. It's just a bit easier to do that stuff. So I find it a bit more satisfying, and the runs are a bit shorter. I think Vampire Survivors, you have to survive for 30 minutes. This, as I said, 10 to 20. 20 is like the late ends of things. Usually it is like 10, 15, I would say. So yeah, I freaking love this game. I think it's super duper fun. Ball Pit, check it out. Any questions, Taylor, about this one?
No, it's just the concept is just kind of like mind-boggling, which is the different mechanics and everything they've incorporated into this kind of a game. I never in a million years would have thought that games like that could progress to this kind of stage with all these different like all these different things and mechanics. It's kind of crazy, but it's pretty awesome, and that's on Games Pass. So
It is.
you've kind of piqued my interest.
You should check it out. You should check it out. I think my recommendation would be you might be playing at first, and you're probably not going to be understanding like what all these things mean and how these things are working, these fusions and whatnot. But just once it clicks hard, and then you're like super involved in it. And that didn't take that long for me, like maybe a half an hour or something like that. Where I was like, I don't know what any of these mechanics mean, these fusions. I don't know what I should be doing, what I shouldn't be. Well, once you start figuring that out, and then you can start like going for certain fusions of things, it becomes just like extremely satisfying. So yeah, I mean, I think even the simple change of like a breakout type of game, but with an actual character where you walk around the screen is like that enough is like an interesting idea. And then rather than just like, you know, having to bounce everything off your one paddle, and the fact that this game is like so much more than that is like extremely interesting. And there, it still has that mechanic to it where like if you catch a ball as it's coming back, kind of in that paddle like way, you can like chuck it out quicker than if it just like falls off the bottom of the screen and you miss it, and then you know, it just goes back in your inventory like a couple seconds later. So there is like an incentive to try and catch them as well. So it makes it so you are having to move around, or you don't have to, but like if you're trying to optimize, it's like I'm trying to catch as many of these as possible because then I'll get like even more shots per second out kind of thing. So yeah, really, really cool game, really creative, really fun and weird and funky. So yeah, let me tell you, it's a great game. You should check it out. Absolutely. Um, let's reorganize. So we are gonna do this last, but let's actually bring it in here. We already kind of talked about it a bit, but I just wanted to take your temperature a little bit on state of Xbox, Taylor, which I feel like is something we have to do more and more frequently because it's just becoming more and more dire. It appears. We already kind of talked about like Game Pass and the price increase there. I don't know. It sounds like you're still subscribed. You're still staying subscribed for this time. Which I guess I maybe want to ask you about that a little bit more because I feel like you don't really play a lot of things on there. So like at what point do you feel like it's going to be like, oh wow, I really got to unsubscribe from this thing? Because to me that price increase, like it was last year, I was like, man, this is so expensive, I can't afford this anymore. Now it's like going to be $35. It's kind of crazy. So I don't know, how do you feel about that? Or just like, I don't know, that change that was like a couple weeks ago now, but any thoughts on that since you weren't on that episode when we broke it down originally?
The big kicker is it's losing the subscription to like I think if I drop Ultimate, then I lose my access to the EA
That's correct.
uh
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, and so there are like EA titles that I play in there. Like there's the Star Wars games, and then there's the NHL titles too that I usually dabble
Right.
in. So there are some stuff there that I feel like I justify it enough, but
Mm-hmm.
it's definitely not something I feel like I'm really attached to. And at any given time, probably in the foreseeable future, I could see myself dropping to a lower subscription because you're right. There are the difference between this tier and the tier right below it, 200 games and a subscription to like EA and Ubisoft Classics, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Am I going to get into all of those 200 games and those other subscription platforms? No, probably not. So
No one
there's
has the
wiggle
time for
room.
that. Like
No one has the time for that.
even if you're like negatively unemployed, like there's just no one in the world has enough time to play all these things. It's crazy.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, like if I keep on playing Call of Duty, then there's that. But if
Yeah.
it comes push comes to shove, and I want to play Call of Duty, then maybe it is cheaper if I just drop $80 on Call of Duty instead of paying. I mean, that's 3 months pretty much of gameplay with Games
Mm-hmm.
Pass instead of just outright owning the game. So yeah, it's tough to say. I just got to feel it out a little bit
Yeah.
more. So
Yeah. That's fair. Yeah, I guess because the other two like additions they made to it is Fortnite, which I know you don't particularly care about, but the Ubisoft Classics, like, is that something that? Because I guess you subscribe to Ubisoft Plus every once in a while, I suppose, right? Just
Every
to
once in
maybe
a
check
while,
out
but that doesn't
Assassin's Creed
include all the
Shadows or
newer
something.
stuff. Like Shadows
It
isn't a part of
doesn't.
this.
It doesn't. But yeah, I don't know. Do you think you'll? I don't know. Did you even like? Have you gone on Game Pass to see the things that they did add to that service? Was there any like good picks in there for you that you're interested
Mm,
in?
no, not
You kind of
really.
own most of the games you want already, right?
That's right. That's exactly it. I mean, if they want people to stick around on Games Pass, then let's get that Guitar Hero coming in here. Let's get like a whole
Please,
bunch of
all
other
the old
titles,
Activision games. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what they need. They need to just develop more stuff like that instead of just absorbing studios and canceling projects and just I don't know, 400 games on Games Pass. That's great. But when a lot of the games are like really, really old and there's not a lot of like really like great selection, I don't
Mm-hmm.
know.
Yeah, that's an interesting. I hadn't really thought about that angle of like, because I talked about this with I think Kirkland on the episode of like, yeah, they're adding this Fortnite stuff, but now they have to like pay Epic some amount of that monthly subscription, right? So like the price goes up, but they're not getting 100% of that price increase, I don't think, unless Epic is extremely stupid to just give up like, oh yeah, we're giving away free Fortnite every month. Like, no,
No, they
they'd lose out
aren't.
on. I guess they wouldn't lose it on too much money just because there isn't as many Xbox subscribers as there are people buying a Fortnite subscription every month. I assume. I don't actually know that number, but I have to imagine that's the case. And then like Ubisoft as well. Like they have to pay Ubisoft some amount to like have that as part of their catalog, just like they do with EA. Right. I don't know how those numbers work. If they just here's just a lump sum and they can justify it in the long run with monthly stuff, but I feel like I wonder how that could have gone if they instead decided to pony up some money to reactivate some of those licenses for like Activision has so many older games that
Hmm.
really just aren't available anymore because of the music that's involved in them, like straight up, like the licensing agreements with like Marvel stuff, some of those like Guitar Hero as you mentioned. I feel like there's a lot of games that like fall into that category, even like some old Tony Hawk things and whatnot, right? And so I wonder like how much that would cost to just renew some of those license. Maybe that's like ridiculously expensive, but maybe you can get like a bundle deal or something like that for some of these. I'm not sure how that would work, but I feel like that would be maybe a lot more enticing for a lot of people. Like, oh yeah, we just added 30 new Marvel games to the service, and we added the entire Guitar Hero catalog, and you know, there's still so many Activision Blizzard things that just like aren't on the service at all,
Hmm.
which is kind of crazy. So I feel like maybe they could have pushed more within their own the things they own already before having to go like what feels to me like nuclear and going with the Ubisoft Fortnite play. Um, and yeah, it's like you can't really go back from it too much. Like you're kind of locked in now that you have to pay Fortnite like as long as this contract lasts. So we'll see. I mean, it could also be that they just wanted to do some crazy play like this right before the new Call of Duty to lose a bunch of subscribers so that more people will just buy Call of Duty, or that the people who are just paying for the subscription just to have Call of Duty now have to pay 50% more than they had to before, right? And so
Hmm.
who knows? Maybe they're just trying to do that in the short term, and then in the new year they'll be like, oh yeah, we fucked up. We're gonna change things and be like, okay, well, I see what you're on to Xbox, but I don't know if that's their game plan. We'll have to find out. Um,
Yeah.
the Xbox Ally is out now. That came out last week, I think. The Xbox handheld, which
Right.
it even feels like kind of cheating to call it an Xbox handheld because they pretty much just took another product that existed and like threw an Xbox logo and the buttons on it, I guess. But that exists, and I think we and you are probably both in the same boat of this of like I'd be down for it if it wasn't as extremely expensive as it is. Like it just feels impossible, and
Right.
you're not really a handheld guy, right? So it's like you just have very little interest in actually picking that up.
I don't need to play Call of Duty and other titles like that on a smaller screen. I need to play that on the big screen because I'm getting old. My eyes are not as good as they
Mm-hmm.
used to be. I can't do it on a little
Yeah.
teeny weeny screen.
Actually, question for you because I feel like I hear a lot of parents on podcasts being like, "Oh, the Switch or whatever Steam Deck is great," just because a lot of time with kids, like maybe you're just that it's just more convenient to be able to have like a little handheld thing that you can hold, like that way the TV can be in use, or I don't know, where you're just like chilling in the kid's room trying to help them like get to sleep, and you just need to be in the room with them until they fall asleep. Like, okay, I'll just play some Switch or something. Is that not a use case for you that hasn't like popped up yet?
Ooh, um, no,
Okay,
no.
no,
I
that's
mean,
fair.
it's definitely a tool that you can use for like the pick up and put down, but I still feel like it's no. When dealing with a kid, I just don't. Not at least yet. Maybe when the kid gets older, and there will be a little bit more flexibility. but it's still too hands on for me to be hands off the kid. If that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah, that does
So
make sense. And I like the way you worded that. Lastly, my last question for you is: so there were some rumors a couple weeks ago that like Xbox is maybe not planning to do another console. I know that's obviously coming out like right after this Ally X thing is out. So it's like, okay, they just released a new console, kind of, sorta. And then like Xbox, like the executives board came out and said, "Oh no, no, that don't listen to that. That's not the plan. We're still doing consoles." But like the amount of lies they just spew out on a weekly basis at this point is ridiculous. So I don't really trust anything they say. But also these rumors were kind of maybe unfounded. We'll have to see. But how do you feel about that? Like, do you feel like the future of Xbox is that they won't ever release actually another console and they'll just straight up go third party, really go deeper in the PC space, go deeper in this handheld market? Or do you think that they're going to do like, oh yeah, we're going to do like the Series X2 in like 3 years and like that we're just, not going to do anything crazy, but it's just another console?
I think that a company like them, they're going to go where the money is, and the money right now, the way I see it, I think I was telling Travis this was they they spend so much money on R&D and development of these consoles that they are losing a lot of money at the same time because they've
Mm-hmm.
not hit, you know, their stride very well the past few years with their Xbox consoles. They've definitely taken a loss, I'm sure. So for them acquiring all of these studios, it makes a much more profitable sense when this company that owns all these different studios can own all these different IPs, make all these games, and then put those games onto other consoles. They're, PlayStation and Nintendo is going to want to get some of these on their consoles. And so I think if you are axing the cost for your R&D, your console production, you're solely
Mm-hmm.
investing money into creating games. And not only that, but selling games digitally, which I think that's another big thing too, because most of these companies, like look at Nintendo already, like going with the here's the key, the code you can enter in for your
Yeah,
game.
and Xbox
So
has been pulling back hard on physical versions, a lot of their games, right?
they have. You go into a lot of game stores now and you don't really see a lot of physical Xbox games. Even EB Games here, the Xbox section is so tiny, but there's still lots of hard copy PlayStation games and a lot of Nintendo hard copy games on the shelf, but Xbox, not a lot. So I think it comes down to yes, there's a high chance that they axe the consoles and they move into a world where we're just going to be selling our games to other gaming companies and they're going to move that product for us, sell that product, and then pay
Yeah.
us, the interest or whatever we charge our games for. And it makes sense, especially when you make a bigger push into digital streaming your games, because then
Yeah.
I mean, what, you're not paying for any physical hardware as a
Mm-hmm.
company, so it's just an absolute steal. And I don't know. To me, that's where the money is. I don't see the money in them making consoles anymore. So
Yeah. I mean that's a really good point, and that's like proven almost directly with the allies. Like they didn't put a single dollar of R&D into that, right? Or maybe they did a little bit to their little version, but it's like no, they just took this company, the ROG Ally, the ROG company. I don't know what they're called exactly, but take that company and just like, oh yeah, we're just gonna. They already had this thing on the market. It's doing well enough. It's no Steam Deck. It's no Switch, but like it's doing well enough. And they just like go over there and they can just slap their logo on there, licensing deal, whatever it is. And yeah, I mean, I don't know how much it costs to like in the R&D department to develop a new console, but I'm sure that number is extremely high, and so it's a lot lower possibly to do the licensing way. So I wonder if that could be another route for like a home console in the future for them too. If like they get someone else to make it, but I don't know if people are going to go that way. But I don't know. Maybe the route is that like maybe the next round of ROG consoles in the next couple of years are almost like a Switch type thing, where maybe there is a dock version too, where you can stick that in and then it goes on the TV, and then maybe Xbox does their thing on with that too. It throws their logo on it, and now the Xbox has like their own little Switch. Now I'm sure Nintendo has like patents out the ass on like all those features, and so they'll have to find another way around it. But maybe that is the route, and that could potentially save them a lot of money. Uh, uh, but maybe also would be a lesser product. We'll have to kind of wait and see, because I've heard some mixed things on the Ally. I mean, most Notably is of course the ridiculous price on it. That's like the biggest turnoff, but other things as well with like the UI is kind of weird and the Xbox OS and some janky things going on there. But yeah, I mean the more and more they become PCs, the less and less there is a reason to actually have a console and just straight up make it a PC instead, or just
Yeah.
obviously Microsoft is already all over PCs and whatnot. So yeah, interesting time. We'll see. We'll see what happens, but. I hope if they do have another like home console coming out, I hope it's like a few years away. Like I feel like I just bought this Series X, and that's maybe not true. It's like 5 years old at this point, but I don't
Doesn't
know.
feel like it.
I don't want to upgrade. I'm fine. Let me use this thing. Hopefully, I can use it for Elder Scrolls 6, but I don't know. I don't know if that's gonna happen at this point. We'll see. Any other Xbox thoughts, or shall we move along?
No, I think I highlighted my concern. So yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, let's jump to our last ad break in just a moment after I thank our Patreon producers Aaron Braden, April of Darkness, Jack Grant, Sam, Superbad Mike, TGGLM69, Jeremy Renner, Charlie Rendell, Cocktail Clay, John with not an H in sight, and Sam Green. Thank you guys so much for your support, keeping the lights on. And not only do you keep the lights on, but with your Patreon subscription, you get all sorts of episodes early and ad-free. Exclusive things as well, which is really great. You get to vote on all sorts of polls, such as the Halloween movie that we do every October. So there's all sorts of things, benefits. We think that we make it pretty damn worth it. So I think if you want to support us, that is the best place to go. Even at the lowest tier, you're still supporting us. Way more than like many listens on like a streaming service or YouTube or whatever it is. Patreon is definitely the best bang for your buck if you're looking to support us. So go over there, check it out if you want to do so. And with that, let's jump to our last ad break of the show. We will come back for our last topic. We will be right back. Okay. Taylor Field, a few months ago, me and Kirkland Patzer did a Sidequest episode doing a ranking of the best zombie games of all time. And when we did that, I felt a bit guilty. I felt a little bit bad because I felt like that's your space. You should have been there for that episode. But it was one of those things. It was Sidequest. It was Monday afternoon. We had to record in a few hours, and I was like, there's not much on the topic side, not much on the games we've been playing side. We need a topic. I went into my magician's hat, aka my Google Keep note sheet, and I picked that one out, and Kirkland said he liked it, and so we just did it. And so yes, I wanted you to be there, but you couldn't be there. It was too short notice. So I want to kind of revise a little bit, but also I kind of want to just hear your take on this because I feel like you're a big zombie guy, also into shows and movies and whatnot, but definitely into some of the games as well. So I sprung this on you last minute, just like me and Kirkland did with that episode. So maybe it'll be as perfectly kind of off the top of your head as possible, which is a good thing here. But I asked you to give me your top 10 zombie game ranking. I don't know if you have 10, but tell me about your process of kind of putting your list together, how many you got, and I don't know. What do you think about this idea of zombie games in general?
So I did get 10. 2 might be up for debate, but
Okay.
I think for the most part, it's
Kirkland had a few debatable ones too. It's
a few
comes with the
debatable ones.
territory.
Okay. Yeah, I think this is a pretty sturdy list. I got one shout out. Now they are billions. I can't remember if you were talking to me about that or if it was Kirkland who's telling me about that.
Definitely come up on a podcast.
Yeah,
maybe all three of us. I don't know. I can't remember the context, but I remember it coming up.
Yeah, it's like tower defense kind of a civilization builder zombie defense game.
Okay.
And that's one I want to shout out. I've not played it, but it's one that is on my list and I want to try eventually because it looks like a lot of fun. The other thing I wanted to shout out, I put an asterisk around this one because I wasn't sure. Halo, would you consider that a zombie?
So that's an interesting question because that came up a lot on the episode with me and Kirkland, where we even had the conversation, Taylor, of like, is The Last of Us a zombie game? Because it has zombies in it, but
I'd say it is.
It doesn't feel like zombies are what it's about. You know what I mean? Like it's about something else. And like so, Last of Us, yeah, that one's a bit more straightforward. But Halo, that is a tricky one. You're thinking of like the Flood, like those are kind of like zombie-like creatures, right? So I mean, for this case, it's your list, and I'm not gonna like me and Kirkland had to debate things. You don't got to debate shit. This is your list. You can do whatever you want. What do you think? If you're in your heart of hearts, are the Flood zombies?
They are parasitic.
It's tricky, right? Because some
um,
games call them infected. Like in Days Gone, they call them freakers, right? Like some of these games have different names for them. They don't necessarily call them zombies. So you can still be in the clear even if they don't use the word zombie in Halo. But maybe they do. Maybe I could see Johnson being like, "These are zombies." I don't know what he would say. But yeah, what do
uh,
you think? Is that a zombie game though? Even if there's like a couple levels that have zombie like enemies in it.
ooh. Like I kept it off the list because I didn't want to just like
Okay.
take that cheap plug and be like, oh yeah, it's a zombie game, because I feel like they're not really zombies, but they have all the
Yeah.
qualities of zombies and so forth. So I'll leave
Kirkland.
it off the list. I'll leave it off
Okay.
the list.
Kirkland didn't
Um,
love when I pitched Minecraft because zombies, one of the most iconic enemy in that
it's a
game,
zombie
maybe the
game.
most common and innumerable. But you wouldn't call Minecraft a zombie game. It's a dicey territory.
Yeah, yeah, I like that though. That's a good one.
Do
Good
you
pick
have a
for that.
numbered list or do you just have 10
I
favorites?
have a numbered list.
Okay. Uh take it away. Give me your number 10.
So my number 10, this one is purely nostalgia. I did not beat it, but I played the heck of it going over to my buddy's house, and I just remember always having a good time, just trying to pick up a heavier weapon and just killing
Okay.
zombies. And my hang up was that it was timed, but it's not like it was a big con, because I think this game is kind of a staple for everyone. Dead Rising, 2006. That
Okay.
game
The
is
original.
the original. I just remember running around the mall and just fighting zombies, just seeing there were hordes and hordes of zombies in this mall. And it was a lot of fun just to play with friends. So I really, really enjoyed that.
Yeah, I think that one really builds up like the zaniness, the goofiness that can happen around zombie stuff because it can be a super stressful game, obviously with the time limit and all that. But it's also a very silly game where you can just get in like a golf cart or whatever, like a security mall cops like golf cart and just like smash into zombies like endlessly. And it's very
Hmm.
silly, right? We had Dead Rising
Yeah.
2 on our list,
Okay. Dead
which I kind
Rising
of had to
2.
pass that off to Kirkland
Interesting.
because I've only really dabbled in that series, but apparently Dead Rising 2 is also in a mall, so they're both mall setting ones.
Dead Rising 2. What does the
And then I think
cover
the
art look
3
like?
is where they
Oh,
went
right.
to a different area.
I remember Dead Rising 2. I remember, gosh, because what year was this? 2010. Holy
3
smokes.
years later, okay. 4 years
Yeah.
later.
Interesting. Okay, cool.
Was Dead Rising 1 original Xbox or 360? That was 360 still,
That was
right?
360.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like a platinum hits one or something like that. I remember.
Okay. Nice. I remember
Uh
that.
yeah. But yeah, so my number 9, I got Left 4 Dead 2. I played that first one, did all the missions
Ooh.
and whatnot, did all the missions for the second one, but I just give the second one the edge just because it's it's built up off that first one, has a little bit more refinement, and they added the guns to that one, right? The guns weren't in the first one. Or no, it was melee
Melee
weapons.
weapons.
Melee weapons,
Melee
that's
weapons, yeah.
right. Yeah,
Guitars and swords
so
and all that stuff.
that
Yeah.
was a big boost for me. I really loved that addition.
That was number 1 on me and Kirkland's list.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, this is interesting and awkward.
Hmm. Yeah, we're we're already in, but interesting so far. We have the same series represented, and we had Left 4 Dead 2 as well. We
Number
had the
2.
sequel there because like the sequel has all the levels from the first game and all the characters I think potentially as well. So it just has everything from the first game plus like a bunch more things and kind of got
Mhm.
supported for years to come. So it's definitely the one you got to pick out of the two. And it's like when do we get in this freaking trilogy? Give me a new one. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. Number 10, 9, 8.
8.
I have, and I feel like this counts. Plant vs Zombies. I've been playing a lot of that back on my phone now. It's just such a good freaking time. I'm having a blast with this game. I missed it. I missed it a lot because I played the heck of it when I was younger. But it's aged well.
That was number 3 on our list. So you
Ooh.
almost have like like you turn the hourglass over in terms of like where these things are on the ranking. But yeah, PVZ it's the bee's knees. It's the best. And that speaking of that, that also just came out or is coming out like this week. I think that remastered version.
Hmm.
And apparently, bad news here is that apparently they ported that iPhone version to like consoles instead of porting like the old PC version. And
Ooh.
apparently, because of that, the UI is all weird for consoles, and apparently it's chock full of bugs. So I'm gonna wait and see. Here's some more impressions on that because that was for me like an easy day one buy, and then I just heard that is totally botched this remaster, and it seems like a bit of a cash grab, which for EA the least shocking thing of all time. But yeah, PvZ replanted is the new one, but yeah, that OG game is so good. And I forget, did you ever play the Garden Warfare games that they had?
No, that's one that I
Okay.
got away. I really want to though.
Yeah, I've seen some chatter about those recently. Apparently, they're like actually good, even though they aren't the original, gameplay style. But
Hmm.
yeah,
Hmm.
cool.
Let's see. Number 7, I got Dead Island. This one I played the first one a lot with my friend. Never played Riptide. Haven't played the second one, but I remember
Mm.
I remember just the jump scares playing this one with my friend, where you open up like the bathroom stall door and then a zombie like jumps out and like
Uh,
grabs onto you, and just a lot of fun with this game. Going into all the places on this beach, this remote destination. Yeah, it's just such a fun game, and just lots of good high school memories with this
mm-hmm.
one.
Yeah, the multiplayer angle of that is super fun. We had Dead Island 2 on our list. So again, just like Dead Rising, we had the sequel, and that was mostly me, and I freaking love the second one. It's so fun.
Hmm.
And Taylor, it is on Game Pass. So if you're looking for a little zombie killing action for
Mm,
Halloween here, you should definitely download that because I don't know how long it'll be on there. I hope it's still on there. But that game is so freaking fun. I love it. It's they really amped it up in the sequel with like the crazy gore and like meat effects of the zombies. It's so good. It's just so much fun.
nice. I like that.
Yeah.
Um, Number 6 is Dying Light. This is one I used to talk to Kirkland about back in the day at
Mm-hmm.
Target. I have to say the ending of this game is fan freaking tastic. It's still some point I'm going to get around to playing. What is it? Dying Light.
The Beast.
That's one of them, but there was a big expansion for the first one. They
Oh,
added
was there?
vehicles and stuff like that. I can't remember the name of it, but yeah, it was really really cool. And then they added
The
Dying Light
Following?
2. The
Does that
following,
sound familiar?
yes, yeah,
Okay.
that was
I
it.
had never even heard of that DLC to be honest.
Yeah, it came out a little bit after.
Yeah.
I just love the crafting system though in Dying Light, and I loved how you could be playing with your friends. You're out late at night, and all of a sudden you get a warning that I can't remember if they're like a prowler or whatever they're called, but the big evil zombies, the acrobatic ones, are running amok now at
Mm.
nighttime, and another player could join your match as that zombie and hunt you down, which is
Oh, that's
even more
amazing.
terrifying.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, it was really really awesome. The mechanics and the story too. Again, that ending, I'll never forget that ending when you're at the top of this watchtower and you know the government's going to blow up the city, and you have to like your guy like connects and gets a signal saying there are survivors in here, and it blurs out to the world. And you see the fighter jet in the distance about to drop this nuke, and it gets like super close, and then right when you hit the go button to send the signal, the jet gets the order and it veers off and
Oh,
it doesn't make the attack. It's fucking
that's
just
amazing.
brutal. It's brutal. So great game though, really really great game, and eventually I will get around to playing the other ones because it's
Mm-hmm.
it's it's such a good game.
We had that as number 4 on our list, the original one. Obviously, that was I've not even played that game. But that was all Kirkland really rising that one on his own up to number 4 on the list.
Nice. Right on. Right on. I've got, and I'd be surprised if this one is on the list for you guys. I got The Walking Dead, the Telltale series.
It was not on our list. I think we talked about it, but we just talked about it in the sense that like, yeah, we haven't played it, but it's probably good
Mm.
because yeah, I think that original one is like people love that game.
I
Like it gets a
love
lot of
that
praise.
original one. That original one is so good. The story is fantastic, and it's one that I need to go back and replay it because it's really really good. I never played, I think, season 2 where it focuses on the girl, but that first season I played it, beat it, really really enjoyed it. So I need to go back and try some more of that game. Uh,
Mm-hmm. Nice. I think
number,
a bunch of those are on Game Pass. I think I've seen them on there when I'm
I believe they are.
scrolling
Yes,
around. Yeah.
I know I still have it. I own it on my Steam account,
Oh,
so
nice. Cool.
I'll have to I'll have to see if it still has my progress saved because that was I mean, last time I played it was years and years ago.
Mm.
But yeah, my number 4, Red Dead Redemption: Undead Nightmare.
Oh, good shout out. Okay. Nice.
Not on your guys' list, I imagine.
No, I think another one we talked about, but yeah, didn't quite make top 10 for us. But I,
Mhm.
I love that you have that as a top fiver.
I remember when they announced this back in high school, it was so hype because the game already was fantastic. I loved playing with my friends, doing a posse and all that. And then when you could just go into this world where they had Bigfoot, well, for one thing, which is really cool, but you just find like,
Nice.
oh, this little town that you bump into is under siege. You got all these zombies just raiding it, and it's just zombies out all in the open uh wastelands and stuff like that. It's super super exhilarating and exciting just for this overrunness, and just cool too because the story was very simple, like a curse or whatever. And yeah, it's that's one that I would love to go back and try. It's cool too that they made it kind of like a standalone. I think it was made like a standalone game that you could buy because I remember seeing the game cases at EB Games, but I don't actually know if it was a standalone.
Yeah, I wonder if they just swapped out the art for that cover because I think I had
Maybe.
that version. I think I bought that one when I
Okay.
picked up that game physical. Yeah.
It's too bad they didn't do it for the second one. I think that that was definitely a lot of
Yeah.
potential there. They should have done more with it.
Yeah, that's I wanted to bring this up that Marvel Rivals, which is like the Overwatchy Marvel game, announced like a Marvel Zombies mode, like a PvE mode coming to that game, which is really cool. And it just made me think, like, man, I wish more games just had like zombie DLCs for non-zombie games because I think that's like a very fun mashup type thing. So I think I'm gonna jump. Like, I don't know if that's a free thing if you can just play that mode. It's a free to play game, but I don't know if that mode is. But like, I don't think we're ever gonna get like a Marvel Zombies game. But to have a game like Marvel Rivals, which has like a ton of characters, some deep cuts, all the big main ones, and like they play well, and it's a cool game, and a mix, and like have a zombies mode in there, I think is really cool. So I definitely want to check that out. I don't know when it's coming out. Probably soon because it's Halloween, October, spooky season time. But yeah, very cool. And that'd be a fun other topic sometime, like just pitching zombie DLCs for certain games. But yeah, I think
That'd
that
be cool.
I hope more games do that kind of thing.
Hmm. My number three, State of Decay 2. Forever waiting on that third sequel to
Forever for
drop.
sure.
But this game found by complete accident because my buddy and I back in the day, he would just go on Games Pass. He would check out games, and we would look up games that were multiplayer so we could play them together. And this is one of them that he installed, and he got into it. He was playing it. I remember I came home, I installed it, and I worked the next day. But we played until like 3 a.m. together.
Nice.
It was so much fun. Um, because I went to his map where I was helping him build up his base and everything. And then later on, he came to my map where he was helping me build up my base and everything and set up my community. And you can move your bases, pick different bases, just try to eliminate hordes, gather supplies, all these different things. Like it was a really, really fun game. And I hope that that third one eventually gets made. It's so much fun too when you get all these different characters. You could switch between different characters on your at your base, and then you can
Mm-hmm.
each character has different attributes and whatnot that you can employ while you're out getting supplies, fighting zombies, all that kind of stuff. And it is it's a lot of fun. It's also a good hoot when you die. Unfortunately, one of your characters you're playing as will die, and then they rise back up as a zombie, and they just charge at your friends, and
That's
your friends
cool.
got to kill them. It's a neat little mechanic. But yeah, definitely State of Decay 2.
Yeah. So have you not gone back and played the first one then?
No, I know I have not. I thought it was just best just to stick with the second one.
That's fair. I did download the first one and I've been playing a little bit of it recently. I've played a couple hours of it because
Nice.
yeah, it's always been on my radar and just never got around to it. But yeah, I was kind of surprised at how like bright and cheery almost it is. Like it's very colorful, like arcadey type of experience. And so the third one, because I feel like the trailers for the third one are not matching that tone. And I don't know if the second one is like that too. But yeah, that was kind of surprising me is just how arcadey and kind of silly it was. But some of those early mechanics in there, I don't know how much like the base building part is in that one. Like at least so far as I've gotten, like had a couple safe houses, but not really much building going on. So I don't know. Maybe I should just jump into the second one and check that out a little bit. Probably will before the third one comes out, if it does ever come out. But yeah, definitely it was fun to finally jump in there and see what's going on with State of Decay.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
My number two, and this is where my number two, my number one, I think being my list, I see them as two separate games, two separate versions.
Okay.
Again, biased, but my number two, Modern Warfare 3, is the zombies open world aspect where you drop into the map. You got 40 minutes to go around the map, do objectives, do missions with your squad of 3, and then you got to evac before the smoke closes in. I
Mm.
have had so many damn good sessions playing this, and I wish that we all were able to get on there and do the this zombies content together, because it was so much fun. It's one of the best zombies Call of Duty experiences I've ever had, where you're on the map running missions. You see other squads run around too doing things, and yeah, like you're having a damn good time. It's so much fun. Yeah, this is one that I'm gonna have to go back and try and play some more, because I think it still has a pretty active community engaging on it, but it was
I'd be
just so
down to
much
check that
fun.
out for sure.
Oh, it's so good. And then, of course, my number one, Call of Duty World at War, the Nazi zombies. That
World at
OG
War. Okay.
Nazi zombies is just, oh my goodness, what a treat. Just simple, round based. Now, would I love it if they went back to that simple round based scenario? Yes, but now it's just the maps. It's not open world like Modern Warfare 3 Zombies is, but the maps are larger and a lot more open. They're not as narrow and confined. And it's not like you're not even boarding up windows. It's very different. It's so easy to get from round to round and to survive. I want to go back to uh, that old school round based, and
Mm-hmm.
not even limited just to World at War. If they were to go ahead a few games like Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, those round based zombies like with Ascension and Mob of the Dead and all those different things there, all those different maps that they did, so many good memories on there, doing all the Easter eggs and whatnot. That's what Call of Duty needs to do. This new stuff, I'm not all about the bubble gums, whatever. Like
Yeah,
it's
the new one
too
did
much.
not do much for me. Played like 3 or 4 rounds and then I was done.
Yeah, I usually am too. It's good for leveling up your guns, I guess, but I'm just not there mentally on wanting to just be a part of part of that. I'd rather just get to the simple round based zombies like it was back in the
Mm-hmm.
day. And so I remember going to my friend's house and playing Dacta and Toten, that first map, and just how scary it was and freaky
So
and
good, so
oh,
claustrophobic. My
it
goodness.
is, and that's what I miss. It was just such a staple, and I think that any fan of zombies needs to at least try it, because you can get World of War on Games Pass. I'm pretty sure you can go back, you can try that zombies, and the old Call of Duty servers are they are live, so you can definitely play online, which
It's kind of
I've
crazy.
done. It is crazy.
Yeah. Uh, I love that. I love that your top two are Call of Duty zombies because that is it's definitely some of the best zombies content out there. Let me throw our list at you, me and Kirkland's, and you can tell me what you think of it. So number 10 was controversial. We had Dead of Winter, which is a board game actually. Although
Oh, okay.
technically you can play it through like Board Game Simulator, I think. So that was how I pitched it. But I pleaded with Kirkland, let me put this on there because it was like it's just one of my favorite board games, and it's a very cool. It does a great job of the zombie theming and all that good stuff. So Dead of Winter. Number 9, I didn't know if this would pop up on your list, but we had World War Z Aftermath.
Oh, all right. What am I gonna switch out here?
That would kick something off your list, hey? So
That
you had
would
Dead
kick
Rising
something
at
out.
number 10. So would that be the lowest denominator then?
I'd kick Dead Rising. I'd put World War Z
Okay.
in there for sure. That game, I totally forgot about that. I was playing it actually like 2 months ago. I popped it. I've never uninstalled it. I've always had it on my
I
console.
love that. That's great.
It's just such an easy game just to turn on, hop in, and yeah, you just get swamped by zombies. I'm a big fan
Mm-hmm.
of the movie. I really liked it, and this is one of those
Right.
scenarios where the game, I know it's based in that universe, and movie game tie-ins kind of have a bad rap, but this just it stands up on its own, and it is a fucking impressive game. It's so much fun for a zombie game.
Nice. Well, I'm glad to see it makes it onto your top 10 then. I have not played the game, so that was definitely a uh, Kirkland passion pick to get that one on the list there. Number so that was a number 9. At number 8, we had Resident Evil 2. I really struggled with Resident Evil. Which one do you pick? And that was the one that I felt like was both a very good game, but also really nailed the zombie horror part of it. And so that's the one that floated up on the list for us. Then at number 10, 9, 8. At 7, we had Dead Island 2.
Hmm.
At number 6, we had Dead Rising 2. At number 5, so we went actually with Call of Duty Black Ops. We went with the original Black
Oh,
Ops, so
okay.
Kino, Ascension. What were the other ones in there? Was it...
There was
I
the
was going to say
Moon.
Verdansk, but definitely not Verdansk.
No, not Verdansk. There was Shangri-La. There was
Yeah,
the
right.
Moon. And they had, I think it was Call of the Dead, where you had the director, George Romero, on the icy level, I
Yeah.
think. Or am I thinking of
Okay.
Black Ops 2 with that?
Wasn't there like didn't have like a lab one, a science
Uh,
lab?
that was the Pentagon, I think.
Was that in Black Ops
5,
1?
that had the elevator. Here, let me look
Hmm.
up. Black Ops
For
1
me, it was definitely
zombies
Kino
maps.
and Ascension were like the two that I just played endlessly.
Yeah, so there was, Shino yeah, I forgot they added
Shino,
Shino
right? Shino
Numa,
Numa. Yeah.
Derise, Nacta and Toten. So they had all those original ones: Ascension, 5, Kino, The Moon, Call of the Dead.
5, right. It's actually
Uh
crazy how many they had, like, just then.
they added Verrect was in there. Shangri-La, that was in there too. And Cook Dead Ops Arcade, I forgot about that.
Mm.
That was funny.
Yeah, I didn't even play all the maps. I realized. I guess I didn't have all the DLC.
Oh,
I think I
they're all so
really just
good.
had Ascension and then Kino before any of the DLC stuff came out. But yeah, great game, great mechanics there. For me, it was like the perfect amount of evolution past what World at War is, like a little bit more depth, but still still is pretty refined. I mean, Ascension even
Mhm.
gets kind of crazy, honestly, with PhD flopper and all this dumb shit. But it's still good. And then at number 4 we had Dying Light. Number 3 we had PVZ. Number 2, no surprise, we had Project Zomboid, which is obviously Kirkland's big passion pick as well, one of his favorite games ever. And I think at the time we had done the episode, I don't think I had played the game yet, but I have played it now, and I can confirm that it is super good. Although I have not put nearly as many hours as Kirkland, of course, but super good game. And then Left 4 Dead 2 at number 1. So how do you think you think our list is okay?
I think that's a good list. It's acceptable. I'd come over and play those games with you guys. It's pretty good.
I forget if we made a hard and fast rule that like only one game per series. I feel like maybe there's a chance that like if we had multiple in a series, maybe we would have had another Call of Duty Zombies like in the top 10. Because like Dead of Winter, being a board game, like barely snuck on there in the first place. And then like Resident Evil 2, World War Z, I think, me and Kirkland had both only played that game individually, not like both of us. So maybe we would have had another one in there. Like I love World at War as well. That's a top dog one for me. I've not played Modern Warfare 3 Zombies, the open world one, but yeah, so many great zombies games in the mix there. But yeah, it's not a bad list, right?
No,
Got
it's
different
good.
flavors, strokes
Mm-hmm.
for different folks, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's all. Any final thoughts here, Taylor Field?
No, I don't reckon so.
He doesn't reckon so. All right, thank you, Taylor, so much for joining me. This was a very fun Halloweeny haunted episode. Thank you, everyone, for listening, and we will be back next week, of course, as we always are. Thank you so much for listening, and have a great night. Bye-bye.